Hello YouTube, I am making a review video for Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. It is a pretty cool soap. It's called the Magic Soap is what it says on the bottle, and it's got a really crazy label. The ingredients in this are coconut oil, olive oil, hemp oil, and jojoba oil. And they're all organic oils, and then it also has some sort of essential oil depending on which flavor you get. Dr. Bronner's has several different flavors, well, not flavors, scents, that's what I call them, and including a kind that doesn't have any essential oils in it, that's the baby kind. It's unscented, so you could get that kind and add your own to it. They also sell many different sizes. This is one of the bigger bottles. They also have a gallon size. They have one that's about half this size, and then they have a 2-ounce size. But this is probably the most efficient size if you're going to use it pretty often. Which I use this body wash, or use this as body wash and shampoo. Whenever I went camping this past summer, for the whole summer, I got 3 of these, and I use them for everything from my dishes to my laundry, anything I needed to clean. Dr. Bronner's did the trick. I had like 3 different kinds for what I was using it for. You know, like the citrus kind for cleaning, or use the peppermint kind for my hair. And so yeah, there's several different kinds. I would say the 3 kinds that work the best for dreadlocks are the peppermint, the tea tree oil, or the eucalyptus. Yeah, and I'll explain a little bit more in detail about that later. I also have notes here because Dr. Bronner's there's a lot to cover here, and I don't want to go on too long trying to remember what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, it says on the bottle that there's 18 uses, 18 in one soap, but there's actually tons of uses for Dr. Bronner's, probably more than 18 if you really want to use it for everything, but let's see, washing dishes. You can also use it as a toothpaste. I would recommend using the peppermint kind, though, as a toothpaste if you're going to do that. It just takes like a drop. And I tried it with the lavender, and it tasted so bad. I mean, it smelled good, lavenderish, but tasted terrible. Peppermint's not so bad. I wouldn't want to use it all the time for brushing my teeth, but it works pretty well in a bind, you know. And yes, this soap is not, it's oil based, so I don't think it's considered residue free. Whenever I use exclusively Dr. Bronner's, I will notice after a month or 2 that it has a slight film or kind of residue-ish. So I usually use mostly the soap and then mix it up with Dreadhead HQ. They have a really clarifying soap, so I do that like once a month or 2. And yeah, I've also heard a lot of people say that they don't like the soap because of that, because it just feels like it doesn't get it all the way clean. But the essential oils that are in this soap really are nourishing for your scalp, especially if you have dreadlocks. Dreadlocks have a lot of problems with dandruff because you can't get the dandruff out all the way. It's like, it's kind of hard sometimes, you know, you kind of have to do a little shaking, but the essential oils that's in there really nourish the scalp and help prevent dandruff. And this lathers really well. It's a really thin soap. It's not as thick as most shampoos that you would use, but it's still concentrated. I would always water it down when using it on dreadlocks, otherwise it just feels like way too much, and you'll just have like all this soap. Like, I didn't dilute it once, and it was just like bubbles above my head, like way too much. So yeah, or instead of using the Dreadhead HQ soap, I would say maybe use this and then do like an apple cider vinegar baking soda wash like once a month to get all the residue off. So yeah, so I'm going to go over some of the reasons why those 3 soaps are the best for dreads. This is the peppermint kind. It's the one that I use for my dreads most often. It's antibacterial, antifungus, and antiviral. antifungal and antibacterial are pretty important for dreadlocks because there's more risk of, you know, mold, mildew, just nasty stuff that shouldn't be in your hair, and yeah, this prevents it. The peppermint is also, it feels, well, like peppermint on your scalp, so it's great for if your scalp is really dry and itchy. It's also great on like a hot summer day. And it also stimulates oil production in dry hair. It's something I found online, but yeah, it does. So if you are having dry itchiness problem, it's going to stimulate your scalp to make more oil. The one thing I would say about the peppermint is I wouldn't use it if it's like cold. If you are taking like an outdoor shower that's really cold or that kind of thing, it's pretty cold. It's pretty rough. One time when I was taking an outdoor shower, I ran out of coins because we had coin-operated showers, and I had to run across back to my campsite in just my towel covered in this peppermint soap, and it was freaking cold. And it also is really, really cold on your Netherland regions. I would not recommend using it on that unless you really know what you're getting into. I have heard a couple women say that they use it for fun in their Netherlands, but I don't. It scares me. So there's also the tea tree variety that's also antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral. It also works really well to deter lice. So if you're having a lice problem, or maybe as a preventative for getting lice, I would definitely recommend using that. It's really moisturizing, and the tea tree oil also helps with dryness and itchiness. And then the last one is the eucalyptus. The eucalyptus is awesome because it deters fleas and like ticks. My cats had a flea problem, so I washed them with the Dr. Bronner's eucalyptus soap. I had tried all the flea shampoos, the drops, so much stuff to try to get rid of their fleas, and it was the eucalyptus soap that really finally did the trick. And so if your animals have fleas or that kind of thing, use it on yourself, use it on your animals, it's all good. Eucalyptus stimulates blood flow. I'm not sure how exactly that helps your scalp, but I'm pretty sure it does. I think it helps your hair actually grow. It gives it the energy to grow out. And so it helps growth. And eucalyptus also increases elasticity, luster, and it makes your hair stronger and more vibrant. I found an actual scientific study that proved it. I'm not going to bother linking it because you could probably Google it yourself and find it. But it's true. So eucalyptus really helps your hair, and it also prevents dandruff. So I used the eucalyptus one for a while, and it was great. So those three are the ones that I would recommend using for dreadlocks. If you want to use Dr. Bronner's for other stuff, I would say the citric is great for cleaning, and the lavender variety is really good as a body wash. It's really relaxing. It'd be good for doing your laundry, washing your sheets, that kind of thing. The one thing about Dr. Bronner's that I also want to say is this stuff is pretty expensive. It's extremely concentrated, so it can go a long way, but it can be a little, whenever you first see the bottle, this bottle I got it on sale for $10. It'll often sell for $14, $15, $16. And it's a pretty big bottle, but yeah, it's 32 ounces, but you see a bottle for $16 and right next to a different kind of soap that's half the price. It's pretty expensive. So yeah, that's kind of a complaint, but it is diluted, so that's kind of cool. There are a couple other kinds of Castile soap that I've tried, but I haven't tried it on my dreadlocks yet, so I don't really know. The good thing is that even though this is oil-based, it does feel really clean whenever you're rinsing it off. It actually feels like it's not leaving residue behind. You only really feel a residue-ish feeling after continued use and not using something to clarify. So I hope that clears up any questions you have about using Dr. Bronner's on your dreadlocks. It's a pretty popular dreadlock soap